All I did was steal a roll of tape, and the mayor sentenced me to death for it. But in the name of fairness in the bunker, he didn't resort to brute force. Instead, he had a hazmat suit custom fitted for me and sent me out to die in the radiation on my own terms. The staff tucked a cleaning rag into my suit pocket and carefully sealed every last seam. Standing before the enforcement officers, the mayor read aloud the exile decree. The moment I stepped outside, I would no longer be a legal resident. On behalf of every person in the bunker, he asked me to clean the dust off the exterior cameras, and in doing so, serve as a warning to anyone still breathing outside these walls is a death sentence. This bunker is the only way to survive. When the decree was finished, the staff locked the helmet into place. I walked toward my end. The heavy metal door ground slowly open, revealing the bunker's outer radiation barrier. Once the inner and outer air supplies were completely sealed off from each other, the decontamination cycle kicked in. Smoke flooded the chamber, and then the outer door opened. It was my first time seeing what was on the other side. I moved through the long corridor and finally reached the exit. Back inside, every resident was pressed up against the big screen, eyes locked on that familiar feed, watching a lone figure appear in the frame. But what I was seeing with my own eyes was nothing like what was on that screen. Everything in front of me was green. I had seen this exact scene before, on a hard drive, and it matched what was right in front of me perfectly. I turned back toward the bunker. The residents were glued to the screen, waiting for what they knew came next. But what happened instead left everyone stunned. I raised the cleaning rag, and then put it back down without touching the camera. The residents didn't know what to make of it. Neither did the mayor. I turned and walked toward 2 rocks on the hillside. Then I went down right where every person before me had gone down, in that same spot, breath slowly leaving my body, becoming one more cautionary tale for the people watching inside. Except I lasted noticeably longer than anyone else ever had. I reached out and touched the rock, and realized they were holograms. I pulled out the former sheriff's badge, placed it on the body nearby, and that's when it clicked. It was the tape. That specific roll of tape was the reason I was still standing. The people inside were waiting for me to drop, but I kept walking. I didn't die beneath the tree like every cleaner before me. I made it up the hill. When I took one more step forward, the green vanished, and in its place was nothing but wasteland. The world outside looked exactly the way the bunker had always said it did. Barren, lifeless, not a trace of anything living. I looked back at the bunker. While everyone stared in disbelief, I turned away and kept going until I disappeared completely from view. Nobody could make sense of what they'd just seen, but what I was seeing wasn't the hope they were imagining. Right next to Bunker 18 sat Bunkers 17 and 16, evenly spaced across the land, each one buried in the ground like its own sealed world. I kept walking until I reached the hillside near the neighboring bunker. The sight that met me was grim. The area around the entrance was littered with bodies, weathered down to almost nothing.